Welcome to the Empowered Podcast with Deanna Merlino, an all-encompassing personal development show where I will be sharing with you just how to transform yourself into the best version of you, both inside and out. From wellness, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and manifestation, I'll be showing you exactly how to live your best life. I will be keeping it as real and raw as it gets. So get ready to peel back the layers and really transform yourself under the surface. Because nothing is better than finding your purpose and living this life as your true, authentic self. You've been hearing me talk about my new spiritual life coaching program. So by now, you know if you are ready to jump into something like this, but now it's time to make it happen. I'm running a special deal, and if you want to hear more, then it's time for you to reach out to me. You can check me out on my page, The Empowered Coach 333, and DM me for more information to get you ready to step into your higher self and your next level today. Welcome back, my empowered fam. So we're going to do a little switch up today. I was supposed to have Madeline on today, and she is under the weather. So we're going to swap her to next week's episode, and I'm just winging it. So I'm going to build off of what we spoke about last week, and we talked about tapping and EFT. And it's kind of funny how things work out, right? Because there's just a lot. I have a lot going on in my life that just was like kind of uprooting my schedule. And I kind of feel like this is a really fitting flow. So we're just going to go with it. I mentioned in the last episode that I became a certified tapper or EFT practitioner, and that I had a good response to trying it on myself. And because I have so much on my plate, I told myself something I wanted to do down the road, but I had no intentions of doing it anytime soon. But I thought to myself, the next time that Catherine Zenkina, the manifestation babe, who I've talked about a bajillion times, she is a mentor of mine that I really look up to in this space. And that was her claim to fame, was tapping. And she normally releases this program where hers is focused on money, and it's like tapping to wealth, releasing any limiting beliefs you have around getting, creating, keeping money. So I told myself the next time it comes out, I was going to do the course, and it doesn't come out often. It's like once, maybe twice a year. Of course, lo and behold, like 2 days later, after I got certified, it came out, and I literally had to laugh because it's just a joke at this point. That's just how it goes. And while I had zero interest in doing anything else right now, I have learned to trust the nudges and trust what the universe is telling me to do. So I took that as a sign. So I'm currently taking her course. I believe it's a week long, and I believe I'm on day 5. And I'm having incredible results with it already. I literally feel like I have shed a skin. So I'm super stoked to finish it because I will then be creating my own. And I really wanted to take her course for a couple reasons. 1, because she's just magical. And 2, because I wanted to see how she did it, things that I would want to change, how I would want to do it, and kind of how to formulate a program such as this. Because that's really, I had just told you guys, this is something that I wanted to do, is relating it to limiting beliefs and money. So it's really cool how that happened. And even though I'm not going to dive into it today, I want to add this because it just adds to what I'm trying to share. She, a couple days after that, dropped something else that I will not tell you guys as yet because it is down the road. I'm not committing to it right now. But she did something that I literally was laughing. And I called my retreat business partner, Brittany, and I was like, you're never going to believe this because this is something that we've been toying with. And so seeing her do these things reminds me that I'm on the right track and that I should also be doing them. And so we're going to dive into both of these things a little further today, the inspired action and the confirmation from the universe. So let's talk. We've talked a ton about inspired action already, but I want to dive a little deeper in that today, in that when you follow the divine inspired action that is in flow, in authenticity, in line with what you should be doing, the universe will always show you the way. Like if you prove to the universe that you have faith and trust in it, then God will always make sure that the steps that you need to take next will be there. You do not know how you're going to get to the destination. That's not your job. It's not. So stop worrying about that, because I know a ton of us do that. Well, how do I do it? What's next? How does this end? You're not supposed to know that. You're draining energy, wasting time. Just trust that they'll be shown to you. And when the universe continues to drop these little breadcrumbs and you follow them, that is when the magic starts to happen, because that's exactly what has been happening for me. And being able to see, like, okay, I did the course, I became certified, and now all of a sudden, Catherine goes and drops this program. So now I'll be able to see the blueprint for how I want to make mine. And that's exactly how it works, is when you do the things that are in flow versus doing the things that you feel like you have to do. When you're thinking from your head versus your heart, you're going to have totally different results. One is going to create resistance and one is going to create ease and flow. And if you haven't listened to that episode that I released, that is on the heart opening meditation, that is something that you should be implementing into your schedule daily if you can, if at not bare minimum weekly, because again, it's going to get you out of the state of being in your mind and following your heart, shifting from that masculine energy to that feminine flow, because most of us run in the masculine, or maybe you're too far on the other side and you're just chilling. This is going to help get you regulated. And so, aside from that inspired action, the next thing I wanted to talk about is the confirmation from the universe. This is when you're doing something and, sometimes we get stuck in the waiting period. So we start to question, which that's the worst thing you can do. You start to put out this panic energy, this doubt energy, this questioning energy. Just have faith it's going to pan out the way it's supposed to, no matter how long it takes. Take the time off the table. And just know that if I do these things that make me a better person, that have me in the direction that I need to be going, that I'm going to meet the person, the door is going to open, the opportunity will present itself, the next step will be shown, and eventually it will. Confirmation for me in this case was her dropping these programs and knowing that it's my turn and my time to do them as well. Confirmation for you could be, okay, for example, when you see somebody on social media and they post their brand new car, or they post their brand new house, or they post these fancy vacations, or they post that they made $1 million this year or $1 million this month. Think big, people, because it happens. How does it make you feel? What is your initial reaction? Do you get angry? Do you get bitter? Do you get jealous? Do you get agitated? Do you unfollow them? Do you delete them? Why? What is it making you feel? Because the point of it is supposed to be confirmation from the universe that if they can do it, then you can do it too. It's not being presented to hurt you. If it's triggering you, then you're knowing, okay, in some level or some aspect, I must want this. And I'm feeling triggered because I don't have it. And you then can choose, am I going to shift, change, or stay focused and continue forward in doing the things I need to do to become that person, or become that, being able to do those things and have those experiences? Or am I going to be the person that just gets angry, bitter, and jealous and stays in the same box and does the same thing over and over and continues getting bitter and angry of other people doing better than them because you're doing nothing for yourself? There's supposed to be little nuggets from God and the universe saying, you can do this too. And if you're seeing it and you feel some type of way, then you want it. Let it inspire you. Take this as a note that I can have this too. And so I encourage you to look at, does anything I'm ever saying bother you? Does it trigger you? Ask why. Literally, when you're triggered, it is your body and your intuition's way of saying there's something going on here. Red flag, red flag. So learn to take a moment in these moments and say, why do I feel this way? What is the root issue? What is the lesson here? And this is, again, nurturing that intuition, nurturing that inner knowledge, nurturing that divine connection. And you'll start to get feedback. You'll be able to hear. And if maybe it's something superficial, dig a little deeper. You want to know the answers so you can make change. And you can get the answers because they're inside of you. Don't let the triggers get to you. Let them better you. So the next thing I want to wrap up with here is the concept kind of imposter syndrome. And this used to come up for me and it does not anymore, but I know that at part of this episode I mentioned how I want to model Catherine's program. And maybe to some of you who are still in this place are thinking, whoa, you want to copy someone else's program? No. I want to find what works for me. I want to find what feels authentic to me and then share it in my way, my message to my audience. So here's the thing. And when I was thinking about this, it came out differently. And now that it's been marinating for a little bit, I think I have a good way to explain this. So say there is someone who paints houses for a living. This is just a broad example, guys. Paints houses for a living, and they are going to paint a red house. Cool. The next house painter can also paint a red house, right? And there's only so many ways you can do that differently. If you're trying to make a red house, you're going to paint the house red, and it is what it is. Both of you can do it. You might have your own way of doing it. Maybe you mix your paint differently. Maybe you start on the outside borders and make your way in, or opposite. Maybe you do a different amount of coats. My point is there's only so much information out there in the way of presenting something to somebody. So for tapping is a thing. It was created by one person and it's done one way. Can you put your spin on it? Yes. But it's not one person's to claim and no one else can have it. That's the case with everything. Some people, when they're getting started with something, especially if maybe it's new to them or they haven't been doing it long or there's not a lot of money tied to it yet, like they haven't had a ton of income, they get this thing that's called imposter syndrome where you feel like you're faking it. You feel like it's not you. It's not true. That kind of like fake, people say fake it till you make it. It's kind of being stuck in that. Like you feel like you're just copying other people. It's not yours. Here's the thing. You can say the exact same thing to a different person and they're going to hear it differently, or they're going to hear it at a different time. The way that Catherine's going to say something, or anyone for that matter, for any program, for any certification, for any training, the way they say it is going to hit differently when I say it to my audience. Your audience is going to hear you differently, even if you're saying the same thing, because they connect and trust you. They connect with the way you share something, the energy behind it, the way you break it down, the way you present it. They trust you. They know that what you have to say, they're going to trust it over someone they don't know. So here's the thing. I'm telling you guys this because I want you to look at what are the things that you maybe are doing right now that you're not comfortable in because you're still stuck in that phase of feeling fraudulent or like you're copying or it's not yours. What are the things that you want to create and you haven't because you feel like, well, I can't do the same thing as them? There is room for all of us. There's room for all of us to thrive. There is no pie in the sky that like there's just a certain limit for each of us. It's limitless. There's limitless energy. There's limitless money. There's limitless potential. There's a limitless audience. I got this a lot when I first started network marketing. A lot of times, or even now, if there's someone on my team and they're like, I wish I could do this like you do, as far as like sharing a message. I don't want you to share it like me. I want you to share it like you. People don't want to hear me when they're from your audience. They want to hear you. So I want you to take some time today after you hear this episode and really figure it out. Really sit with it. Maybe do that heart opening meditation before you ask this question if you're really trying to change your life and find your purpose. What do you want to create that you've been too afraid to because it didn't feel like you could make it yours or that you could do it too? And again, that's your ego. That's your ego trying to keep you safe and in your comfort zone. If this is feeling some way to you, that's your intuition saying you're supposed to follow this nudge. What are you going to create? What can you create? Who can you present yourself as? Who is your true self? What do you want to share? What do you want to say? What do you want to do? That is what I want you to do this week after this episode, is figure out the way you can show up for yourself moving forward without fear and knowing that there is room for every single one of us at the table. I love you all so much. I hope you have the best day, the best week. And next week, we'll really get to sit with my guest, Madeline, and you'll get to hear my healer and how she helps me and how she is transforming herself and myself so we can be better able to serve you and serve others. I love you all so much. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to find out more, you can follow me on Instagram at Empowered with Deanna and my personal page, Fit Deanna Lolita. You can also visit me on my website, which is deannamerlinofit.com. Make sure that whatever platform you guys are listening on, please rate and subscribe. And this means so much to me. It's going to help get me out there to help so many other people. I'm so grateful that you're here with me on this journey of wellness and self-empowerment. I cannot promise that it will always be easy, but I do know that it will always be worth it. Stick with me, and together, let's start living as the version of us that we were meant to be. Because the world is waiting for your gifts, and you deserve to live the life of your wildest dreams and beyond. So friends, let's get empowered.